Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Man Cave Mondays. It's our live broadcast. And I'm really excited this week because our entire panel is finally back after 2 weeks off. And first and foremost, we will say hello to the one and only Alberto, if he's there. We got it? You there, Alberto? Hey, there we go. We got something weird going on with your mic, dude. I'm not catching your. Let's. I'm gonna have to mute you there, dude. That's really weird. Maybe leave and come back, but you weren't coming through at all. And then of course Christian.
Hello.
Hey, that's working.
Good to be back.
That audio is working great. And Joe.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
The one and only Boomstick. I love that. That's the name we gave you.
I appreciate it. I did my best to watch
the Dead. What is it? Evil Dead, right?
Evil Dead, yeah.
And Army of Darkness. Here's my Boomstick. And then, of course. God, what is going on here? Sideshow Bobby, very nice.
Hello.
I love it. How you guys doing? How was your week?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
This has been a really crazy week. We were going to do a conversation about Marvel, but not a whole lot of Marvel stuff really going on in the immediate right now. We'll get back to that conversation. All the fans listening who are like big Marvel fans and want to hear our debate about that. That is definitely still coming. But for starters, Christian missed the conversation last week.
I did, unfortunately.
And we wanted to give him a chance to chime in. And then on top of that, some interesting developments in the world of movies,
bombshells,
theaters, and streaming, and like just all kinds of crazy stuff happened. So we figured we would continue the conversation a little bit more this week and dive into some, let's just say some interesting developments that happened this past week in that front. But first we'll dive into the news, and Bobby, if you want to do the comic book news, that would be awesome.
Definitely.
Let me make sure. Hang on, let me get that up here real quick. Which one are you going to do first? Are you going to do
we're going to talk about the new Marvel's U.S. Agent.
There we go. That's
now getting its new solo series. So as we know, U.S. Agent was supposed to be featured on the new Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, but that was supposed to be premiered on Disney Plus. But unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the production has been slowed down.
This kind of going around.
Yep. So U.S. Agent comes from writer Christopher. This is off of superherohype.com. U.S. Agent comes from writer Christopher Priest and artist Stefano Landini, kicking off with the 5-part American Zealot story arc. The series picks up with the Walker losing his U.S. agent status. He quickly finds work as an independent government contractor. But it isn't long before his new job brings him into a small town and throws him into the middle of the citizens' fight against a large corporation.
Interesting.
So that's that. So if you're a fan of Captain America and his legacy, go check out the new U.S. Agent series coming out this fall.
All right.
Okay.
That's. Are you guys big Captain America fans or no?
My dad's a huge Captain America fan.
Is he? Okay.
Captain America is his favorite superhero. I'm not too familiar with U.S. Agent. Is he basically like the Punisher Captain America? Like, what's his deal?
He was a stand-in. So when Captain America became Nomad,
okay, right.
in as Captain America for a little bit, but he was a little bit too much.
I remember that.
And Captain America took back the mantle.
So he's basically like government Captain America.
Well, yeah. So it's kind of more of a. He isn't our beloved Steve Rogers. That's for sure.
Got it.
There we go. That's
he isn't Steve Rogers.
He's Captain America with a little more teeth.
Yeah, a little
Maybe.
bit. So we're gonna find out too come Disney Plus series this fall. So hopefully.
All right. All right. Next is.
The next is, I didn't find a lot of comic book news, but another comic book adaptation is coming to Netflix. So Beck Smith is to write the Netflix adaptation of Mark Miller's Reborn. It's been well over a year since Netflix announced that he was turning this Mark Miller and Greg Capullo's Reborn into a movie. Reborn follows the story of a woman who died, and it's an alternate version of heaven. And she goes on all these adventures.
Interesting. Okay.
Beck Smith is also now writing the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse spin-off series with all female Spider-Man characters.
Wait a minute. What? I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah. So this is off of, again, superherohype.com. So again, Sony, as we'll probably discuss this, but Sony's now hitting hard with Spider-Man, and they're doubling down now.
Joe's shaking his head. We're going to be getting to some more Sony, just crazy Sony news a little bit later that involves Spider-Man, and I'm not happy about it. But alrighty. Very cool. I don't know if Alberto's going to be back. His mic was acting all really, really messed up, and he had to dip out. But Joe, let's just jump right to your news.
Okay.
He's movies and all of that, movies and stuff anyway, and that's where we're kind of landing this week for our main conversation. So we'll give him some time to jump in. Interesting Xbox news going on though. Joe, clue us in on what the deal is with this xCloud news, because we were talking about that a couple episodes ago.
Apple came out this past week and said they are not going to be supporting xCloud because they won't be able to monitor the games that are being played on it. But let's be real. They do have streaming services already on it.
Right.
It comes down to money. I guarantee it, because they're not getting out of the money.
So I just subscribed to Apple Arcade. I'm on the trial feature right now.
Bingo.
So that's what's happening. So
right there. Okay. So when I was reading this, I was at first like, oh, come on, you got to be joking me. Really? And then I was reading like further on into the details and what was going on. They're basically saying that the only way they would be okay with it is by their standards. They have to every game that is going to be made available on the xCloud library has to be independently submitted and reviewed on their own in addition to the app.
What?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
And by independently submitted and reviewed, they mean they have to pay them a certain amount of money to let them.
Hey, there we go. There's a big part of it. And in addition to that, it also, I think, gives a little bit of weight to the fact that, well, like 3 years ago, Phil Spencer was like, no, our main competitors are Apple and Google. Yeah.
Well, there's been that,
and clearly Apple sees that. Clearly, Apple sees that as being the case. So,
well, there's been that rumor circulating for a while that Apple's been trying to get their foot into the gaming scene on their own.
Yeah, I think
so. I'm sure
the same problem is being applied to Google Stadia. You can't do that on Apple products either, and it's the exact same logic. Behind it, which is ridiculous to have that kind of stringent restrictions on a streaming service, because you've got, like Joe said, you've got Netflix, you've got Hulu, you've got Amazon, which has games in it as well.
Does Netflix submit every single movie to Apple before it gets played on an iPhone?
Here's the thing.
Definitely not. Are they paying? Is Netflix paying Apple a certain fee for every single portion of their 100%. Definitely, like what the
as an Apple subscriber, if you are fully into the Appleverse, you can control everything through your Apple account, pay through your Apple account all your subscriptions. So and this could be done in another further broadcast to talk about, is Apple worth the gaming system, and with all the processes, because it eventually does come down to money and controlling the ecosystem. So
right, and I feel like this is Apple's they had the Pip? Like back in the early 2000s, they tried to get into the gaming scene, and that just fell like a rock. And so I feel like they're reading the room a bit and recognizing that the streaming and online game stuff is the big deal, and that they've got all of these devices out there already. So like you said, Bobby, you subscribe to like the gaming.
I just subscribed to their $5 a month gaming platform.
Right. They're wanting to build that up.
Right.
They don't want to get a big competitor on their devices.
Right.
No.
So that's what this is about. Clearly.
And there's some fun little games I've been kind of messing around with. I haven't dived too much into it,
right.
But there are some clones you can say, okay, this game is like Mario Kart. This game is a side scroller. So there's definitely games that you can download that that are very similar or clones to more popular games.
Right, but you don't want the clone of Mario Kart. You want Mario Kart,
I mean,
right?
You
don't want a clone of
unless it's Diddy
Borderlands.
Kart Racing.
You want Borderlands, right? Like
if it's Diddy Kart Racing, I'm okay with it being a clone of Mario Kart.
Diddy Kong Racing is like its own beast, and yes, is it a Mario Kart clone? Maybe, but that game kicks ass. It really does. Alrighty. Anything else we want to say about that? That was like,
well,
I have friends who are big Microsoft fans and friends who are big Apple fans, and I told all my Apple fans, no, trust me, it's coming.
I'm a big tech fan.
All
my devices are Apple. I'm streaming on Apple. Facebook user said that they're watching the stream on an Apple computer. I have an Apple iPhone, but I told my wife the other day, literally like 2 days ago, I said, this might make me switch over to an Android because I'm a gamer at heart, and I love the fact that I can play anywhere on my Xbox.
Right.
So, and if Apple wants to staunch that, well, they won't get my money. That's just plain and simple.
We got one Facebook user. I don't know. It's not giving me your guys' names because you gotta do like a whole registration thing with StreamYard or whatever. So maybe they can do that later. But I feel dirty watching your guys stream on an Apple computer.
I love Apple products.
I don't know who's saying that, but yes.
But I
won't judge you.
I just moved over. The saying is, once you go Mac, you don't go back.
That's just a lame rhyme.
So I actually just about a couple months ago, I moved over to a Microsoft Surface.
Bobby, what? You're a huge Mac guy. You switched over to a Surface?
And I'll tell you why.
Dude.
Tell me why. Help me understand.
Yes.
Excel.
Excel.
Microsoft does not give you the full Microsoft Office 365 version of Excel and Word on Macs, and I need the full capabilities of an Excel program. So I can't get data modeling. I can't get power pivots. I can't get any of the features in a Mac version of Excel. So I went back to a Microsoft Surface.
I was corrected here by our listening audience. It's the Apple Pippin. Get it right. Yeah, I know. Right. So, did you guys ever see that? Did you guys ever look into the Apple Pippin at all?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I've never heard of that.
We should do a fun little exploration of old weird tech sometime. That would be a fun episode.
Oh, the first version of their Apple, when they tried to make their first version of the iPod.
Right. Like all of the weird old tech that.
What was that like? The weird mobile, like handheld gaming system. It was something weird. It was like a weird
Apple had one?
block. No, not Apple had one, but we're just talking about weird old tech devices. It was.
You're not talking about a Game Boy, right?
No, it looked like an old it looked like an MP3 player.
Definitely,
but it was like for handheld gaming. It was weird. I don't remember what it was called.
Engage. Yeah, you're right. The
Yes.
Engage.
Engage. Yeah.
Hang
Yes,
on a
yes,
sec.
yes,
I gotta
yes.
look this up now. I gotta look this up. The N
Yes.
is it Engage as in
Yes.
N, the letter N?
Engage. Yes. Ngage.
Nokia made it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I gotta look this up. What is this thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
It was a phone too, right?
That is a weird ass looking thing.
That's
What
very
is that?
90s. That's the 90s right
But-
there.
Yeah, it was
What?
technically a
That's the 90s.
smartphone, but it was the smartphone designed for
What is
handheld
that?
gaming as well.
That's the 90s.
And
right
it's got
there.
the like
Yeah.
it's got the keyboard over here, like the numbers and stuff. What do you do with that though?
Nothing. That's
Like-
why it was around for like a week.
How do you were there games that were like exclusives for it or what?
I
don't-
literally think it probably. I think it was like around for like a month, maybe 2.
That is a really, really strange thing.
There's videos if we want to kind of look into another thing.
We
I
should
think
dive
that's-
into that sometime.
dive
That'd
into
be
that
a fun
another thing.
episode to dive into like dead technology
video
or
game
stuff that
systems.
just didn't work.
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast. hey now.
Dreamcast.
You watch your mouth, sir. The Dreamcast is amazing and was way ahead of its
If
time.
there is,
It was.
if there is 3 things
So
you want to
ahead of
talk
its
bad
time.
about in front of Dan, it is inverted controls, Zack Snyder, and Dreamcast.
Yeah, you shut your mouth right now.
The inverted
Talk
controls
bad. You
suck,
talk
man.
bad about Sega and the Dreamcast especially. No, thank you.
Sega!
You trigger
Sega?
me all over
Or
again.
Sega?
here.
You know, the last time Sega released a console
was
was the last time inverted controls
That
were
was-
useful.
They are still useful, and we are gonna dive into that one of these days.
that
But it
sounds
is
like a
not
pointless
today.
debate.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a very pointless debate, possibly coming very soon. And
So
I hope Alberto
face-
comes back here soon because he's got our pointless debate topic for tonight.
He said
So-
in the chat that he's restarting his computer.
Oh, dude, is he running a Mac? Maybe that's what.
So
Ooh.
Facebook user who is
No!
saying that-
I went
so-
there. I went there.
So Dan, Facebook
my
user
surface.
who apparently is your brother
Yeah.
is saying that apparently Resident Evil and Tomb Raider were both playable on the N-Gage.
Resident Evil and Tomb Raider were both playable on the N-Gage. Really?
Apparently.
Hold on a
Yes.
second. If you're commenting, put your name beside your comment because we can't see who you are.
It's-
Or-
apparently it's Dan's
or,
brother.
Or
Or you can register with StreamYard, like your account or something like that. I don't know. There's a way to do
Yeah.
that.
A couple right before he posted about the N-Gage, he said apparently it's your brother, Dan.
Oh,
his
All right.
cuter brother.
that would
Yes.
explain. You would think he's
Is it-
cuter, Joe.
is it Daniel?
You would.
you have a brother named Daniel.
No, that's what he says.
No.
You don't
I
have a
a
brother
brother
named
named
Daniel?
Daniel.
Yeah.
Me?
He's Daniel.
Wait.
Wait,
Maybe
which
I'm-
one am I pointing?
Maybe I'm drinking my whiskey too fast.
I think you're drinking it way too fast.
It's better inverted.
Is what?
we
No, stop.
Alrighty. Well,
need to
with
get
that
back
said,
on.
apparently my brother Andrew is watching, and he's
Hi, Andrew.
trolling everybody in the comments.
Thank you for the
section on
N-Gage facts.
Facebook.
We appreciate it.
Moving on. Let's move on to
I was going to say, moving on.
September 1st. The Avengers
Yeah.
game is coming out. The beta is happening right now. A lot of people hate it and love it.
It's a really mixed. Yeah, we're getting a lot of mixed responses on that for sure.
So
Yeah.
here's a big issue with that. Spider-Man is reserved for Sony and PlayStation. That's it. So Microsoft Xbox players are not able to play with Spider-Man,
Not cool, Sony.
which is not cool.
Not cool at all.
Looks like Spider-Man's not able to play in other people's playgrounds.
It's you know what? I don't think it's Sony. I think it's a studio, Crystal Dynamic, who bent down to this and allowed it to happen.
Oh, of course it is.
I don't think it's
They're the
just
ones.
Sony.
Sony's the one signing
Here's
their
the thing.
checks, so of course they are.
Console
Exactly right.
exclusive characters is nothing new.
Well, it's about time
I'm
we get
sorry,
past
but
that.
Spider-Man should not be a console exclusive character. It is
Spider-Man is owned by Sony.
The movie rights. The
The-
character is owned.
Yes, but-
the movie rights are owned by Sony. The character is still owned by Marvel.
right.
Right, but Marvel wants to keep a good working relationship with Sony to keep the movies happening. So of course they're gonna listen to Sony when it comes to this.
There's stuff in the background.
Still not okay.
It's all
meshing together. Like I get how they're hanging on to
Microsoft has been
major property. Like I get it. That's a huge card to hold on to. But for something like this, come on.
Well, there's a petition on Reddit.
Microsoft has been playing the console exclusive.
People are dropping their pre-orders because of this.
That's awesome.
And that's how you engage companies that are doing.
But so which pre-orders are they dropping?
The Microsoft both PS4 players and Microsoft players, Xbox players are dropping their pre-orders because in protest of withholding that. Yeah,
you would think all the Sony fanboys would be like, and they keep their pre-order.
I think it's coming to a point as a gamer that people are like, this is getting ridiculous.
Let's hope so, because that's exactly right. Like if Microsoft were to be like,
it's been ridiculous.
It has. It definitely has. But if Microsoft, like, if it's an independent, like, if it's an IP that particular company owns, and it's a property that they've had as an exclusive for like forever or whatever,
like a Master Chief or a
Master Chief, or
Link,
all the Nintendo, like whatever, no big deal. Spider-Man, come on, like that's a whole nother. Like that's a character that is a property
you have the Spider-Man
that you
game,
don't.
which was a PS4 exclusive.
I know, and that still is just that
blows my mind.
It still makes me mad. Yeah, like they could make so much money, so much more money.
The company that it's Insomniac game or Insomniac Games made the Spider-Man game, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and they made an exclusive for Microsoft with Sunset Overdrive, which was amazing,
right?
So
they've gone back and forth. They were a Sony exclusive company for a long time. Then they worked with Microsoft. I mean,
it's Spider-Man.
Consoles. I know. Here's the thing: console exclusives are nothing new, and they're not going to ever end. Unfortunately,
I know, but it's freaking Spider-Man. Everybody should have Spider-Man. Everybody.
Let me ask you a question: Would you be upset if Microsoft had them exclusively?
Yes, I would be.
I would think that's a really dumb idea. And it doesn't fit the model of where Microsoft as a company is going anyway, which is away from focusing on console selling titles.
Right.
Because for them, it's not about the console. Sony, you can tell with this kind of logic, it's still about we need to sell consoles. And like that's the big thing. Microsoft's like, no.
Can I speak into that?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Joe.
So Microsoft has the PC market and the Xbox market, right? And so they can afford to have that exclusivity because they own a vast majority of the market. And Sony is coming at it like, hey, we have something very special. We have Spider-Man, and we created an amazing Spider-Man game. I want to buy a PlayStation 4 simply to play Spider-Man. Dan asked you to borrow your PlayStation 4 so I can play Spider-Man. It's just that's what they're doing. They're trying to create that.
It's a smart marketing tactic.
It is.
It's a marketing tactic that's going to leave them behind.
It is because I'm not going to pay $400 for a console just to play one game. No. I'm not.
Especially when you can spend $15 a month with no console and get the same access to the exclusives that the other guy has immediately.
Yep.
Right? Like, why would you drop $400 or $500 on a console when you don't have to anymore? Yeah. Anything else to add, gentlemen? Any other thoughts?
I'm just saying right now, I'm looking at Sony's stock price, and it is at a 5-year high right now.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. So at its low point, it was at $27 back in August 2014. And now it's riding high at around August 6th. It hit $80.
What was the launch date for the PS5 or 4?
You remember? PS4 launched at $499.
Yes, it did. Yep.
What was the date for that?
What was the date?
When did it come out?
Oh,
The date-
it was November
What year?
of 2012.
12.
Yep.
So
Interesting.
2012, I'm pretty sure. Might have been. It was either 12 or 13.
so in 2000,
Because Uncharted 3 came out in 2011, and that was one of the last big games for PS3.
Sony was
Interesting.
stock price was low. Let's see, 2012. It was like November 2012. It was like at $10.
2014 was when the PS4 was released.
2014. There we go.
2014. So
Yeah,
2014.
November 15th.
November 2014.
Yeah.
That's when everything started to get.
I was going to
That's
say
when
that was their
that's
big
starting.
moneymaker.
It's starting to hit right. It's starting to rise now.
That's what's going on there.
So
They realized that's the thing that really bumped them up was being the top dog as far as consoles go, and they think that. I feel like they're assuming that model is going to be their success moving forward because it worked, 6 years
Which
ago.
each company
it will.
sees success differently. If Microsoft's focus is building that brand, that's great for them. If Sony's focus is building a console, that's great for them. Each company has different priorities.
Yeah,
And
but
if
it's
Microsoft's moving away from the console war, it's not even about whether they're doing smarter or better than Sony anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's about each company making money, right? And if there is
Whatever
a way
they need to do that,
if you can lower your expenses a bit by not having to push out an extremely pricey console that you're not really making a lot of money off of in the first place, that's the way to do it for the future. But but Xbox is still doing it anyway. Like they're still cranking out their systems too. So we'll see.
So
We'll see where things go.
Moving on to tech. Instead of just talking about PC, I'm going to be talking about just technology in general, fun toys that men and women will like. The first thing I'm going to bring up is, have you guys ever heard of a smart grill?
A smart grill?
Yeah. I didn't hear about it until Bobby pointed it out.
What in the world?
Because
you haven't lived until you heard about us. You don't know what you need until you know what a smart grill is, Dan.
A smart
Bobby, do you have
enlighten
one?
Me then.
No, I can't afford one.
So I was reading articles about it, and this one article from gosh, I can't remember tech. Give me a second. It was from techradar.com. Said that if you can't afford a $2,000 smart grill,
let's see if I can find
you can buy one for $1,999.
Oh, gee.
I feel like the author is being sarcastic, but
I hope so.
But basically, you can control the heat of your. You can control the heat, the temperature from your phone. You can control the longevity timers. You can add Spotify to the speakers on the grill. And if you have money to waste, why not, right?
Is this? Wait a minute. So is this it? I think I found it. See if I can get it up here. This thing right here.
Yep, it's one of them. The article I sent in the group text was yeah.
That's crazy. So these things are going for $2,000.
$2,000.
$2,000. You can connect. You can grill from your phone.
But
here's the quote you're talking about. If $2,000 is out of your budget, we also really like the $1,199.99 Ironwood 650 grill. So save yourself a penny, is what you're saying.
No, it's 1,200.
It's 1,200.
That's
1,200.
Yeah,
you gotta. Yeah,
it's $1,200.
$800.
That's still $1,200. That's
still a lot of money.
That's still a lot of money.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
a lot of money.
Hilarious.
But what we're looking at is the future. It really is. And even though it's really expensive right now, remember when 4K's first released? A 4K TV costs like $3,000, $4,000.
$3,000 or $4,000 at least.
Now you can go into Best Buy and buy a 4K TV for $300.
Wow.
I don't want Terminators taking over my grill and
I
spitting
really don't
my
either.
burgers back at me.
I like my burgers a very, very particular way. And I guess, well, here's the upside. Here's the upside to this. If I make something on the grill and it ends up totally sucking, I can just blame the computer. I don't have to.
Stupid
Not
app.
my grilling skills. This stupid grill doesn't know what it's doing.
Remember, computers are only as good as the humans that make them.
So it's funny that we're talking about this.
And I didn't make it, so yeah.
Because the other night I laid in bed, and the holidays are coming up, and Dan knows I'm a big fan of Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
You have a
And
countdown to Christmas that I feel starts in like July. It's ridiculous.
it does start in July because it's the 6-month mark.
Are we going to have a Hallmark? Are we going to have a Hallmark Christmas Channel marathon?
We should.
Please no.
We should
Please
add.
no.
We should review Christmas movies in December, horror movies in October, and
I'm
talk about it. How
totally
our
okay with
viewers-
that.
That'd be fun.
We could like customize, make our own Man Cave Mondays customized Lifetime holiday movie.
Movie 3000. It could
Our
be
own
like
pitch.
what
It'd
was
be
it? The
exact
Iron Man
same
2000.
thing as every other Lifetime movie ever.
So,
Man Cave Mondays version of a Lifetime movie pitch, though.
so speaking of tech, I have a couple Hue lights which I really love and really enjoy, but I woke my wife up 2 nights ago. I said I found smart Christmas lights. They're called Twinklies. They're like $200.
Inkleys?
Twinklies. They're $200. You can put them on your Christmas tree, and you're able to pick any color you want and have designs. It's really, really cool. And I told my wife, I was like, my birthday's coming up. This is what I want. I want Christmas lights. And she's like, you're
so
ridiculous.
weird. You are ridiculous. Your wife is absolutely right. If she's watching,
She's watching.
yes, he's being ridiculous without a doubt. That is ridiculous.
Jesus is all about the Christmas trees, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
She thinks it's
totally
hot.
about the Christmas tree.
My
And
wife
the
thinks it's
snow.
hot. Keep her clothes on.
Right. Yeah, because dropping however many dollars on Christmas lights is a major turn on, right? Yeah, I believe that for a second.
So moving on to my last piece of news is there's a there's a Kickstarter about a home entertainment system that is 5K VR headset with 5.1 surround sound, which
Ooh.
I feel like ties into what we're talking about tonight. Would you guys spend $1,000 on a 5K headset with 5.1 surround sound for a theater experience that you will sit by yourself and watch by yourself?
I
How
think that
much?
would
$1,000.
1,000. I think that's a good price point.
I'm
mean,
going
it's-
back. I'm gonna make sure.
This is it right here, right?
Yeah, that's
That's it.
Sonera Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see
a good
what's
price
the,
point for a self-home theater that if you want to zone out, sometimes if you're in bed next to your wife and you want to turn on, I have to put on my headset.
you want to zone everybody
You
out.
want to zone everyone out and you want that full experience. $1,000 could, if you have
get it.
disposable, I get it.
Is it
I get it.
3D? 3D images. Okay. To high quality cinematic surround sound. Okay, but so here's the 3D technology is going the way of the dodo.
Yeah,
Like
It is.
was-
it's not the new thing anymore, and it's not substantially latched on to a mainstream audience to be worth the investment. And $1,000, like you could get your own projector and
Or a nice
5.1
4K HDR TV.
5.1 surround sound or a really nice TV now in 4K. That's $1,000 and enjoy it with more people, So
What if you have those
Wow.
noisy neighbors and you don't want to bother them and you just want to crank up that sound to get that full experience, but can't bother
Yeah.
them because you're in a condo or
yeah, if you were like doing apartment living or something, I could see that. Although you could get wireless headphones or something to.
you
but
can
I-
get wireless
I get it.
headphones.
I guess I get it, but I don't know, $1,000. It sounds about right, but it also sounds a bit impractical.
Is anyone a Star Trek fan here?
My wife is a huge Star Trek fan.
Okay, it looks like the one episode from Star Trek Next Generation where Wesley comes back to the Enterprise and everyone's playing that video game that they're addicted to.
Call of
I don't
Duty.
know that I
Was
ever
it Call
saw
of
that
Duty?
episode, but I definitely want to now.
It's a Star Trek Next Generation episode. Wesley comes back from the Academy, and everyone's addicted to this video game. And the deactivated data. If anyone remembers the episode, put it in the comments section. But that's what this device reminds me of right here.
Interesting.
And Christian's gone.
And I was going to say, where did Christian go?
He's having
there he
connection issues.
Are you still there, dude?
I'm here. Sorry, I switched over to a hotspot because I think the Wi-Fi was freaking out, so I switched over to a hotspot.
Oh god.
Okay. You still sound good though.
You still sound good.
All right.
Yep. You still sound good.
You guys were literally like freezing every 6 seconds for
that's
me.
no good.
So
I was wondering why you weren't chiming in.
This all just start freezing.
Yeah, it was. There was like points where I was like, I don't know if it's my connection or theirs. I don't know, but you guys sound perfect now, so we're good.
All right, sweet.
All right.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I don't know where Alberto is. That's
anytime you restart your laptop, you make that risk of having like 37,000 updates that go off.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's very true. Let me try and see if I can get Alberto back. But who have we not done yet? Christian, we got your news coming up now, right? Yeah.
Yes,
why don't we dive into PlayStation news?
Yes. All right. So it's actually kind of interesting going from the headset talk previously. So I've got 2 PlayStation VR related news for this week. First, one that I'm personally very excited about. I don't know if you can tell by my nickname, but I am a huge Hitman fan.
Yes.
And Hitman 3 is getting released on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So it's going to be cross console, cross generation.
Nice.
And they are releasing it on PSVR, which they had not released either of the first 2 on PlayStation VR. And they are not only releasing the third one on it, but they are going to be backtracking and
be right back
you the full trilogy on PlayStation VR access.
Really?
So first person Hitman.
So it's first person in VR.
Yes.
Is it the
so they show
game?
it's all the missions. You're getting full access to it. The example that they used was you're going to have control over, like, you can pick up like frying pans off the ground, right? And if you want to bash somebody over the head, they said you can swing it and knock them out however you want, and then you can use that to block bullets coming at you. You're going to be You're going to be able to go first person through the crowds, blend in with the crowds.
Are you okay? So. Are you able to do all of that same stuff in the regular third-person controller perspective too, or
to an extent? To an extent, it's a lot more like automated. You can't be like, oh, let me use this to block. I'm thinking from what I could tell, it looks like that they're twisting some of the controls a little bit and twisting some of the gameplay mechanics to fit VR better, because I feel like the base Hitman game doesn't lend itself to VR super great, because VR is something that you almost have to design a game for.
Yeah,
it's very hard to play a non-VR game in VR.
Man, sounds like it'd be a really cool concept.
Yeah. So from the trailer that they showed, it looks really cool. The graphics don't look like a severe downgrade. Obviously, you're always going to get a little bit of that weird like hitchiness when you're looking at something that's supposed to be in VR, not in VR. But I think I'm excited for it. They haven't specified whether you're going to already need to have purchased the first 2, and then they're going to be like updating it for VR, or whether it's going to be a bundle. They haven't specified. Okay. I would like to imagine that if you buy the PSVR version of Hitman 3, that you get the first 2. That seems like it would make the most sense to me, but I don't know.
So this is the clip.
Yeah, it's very, very, very quick clip.
Here.
Shows that's what it would traditionally look like.
This is Hitman normally, right here. This is what it usually looks like.
And this is the same clip they showed of Hitman 3 when they announced it.
And now it's in VR. This is technically VR, supposed to be. Yeah. Is this supposed to be real game footage, or is this?
Yeah, this is supposed to be real game footage.
How does that work with you walking around in this space when you're standing around in your living room?
Well, because so PlayStation VR is you have two options. You either have the PlayStation Move controllers, which one has a left joystick,
Okay.
or you have, or you can
so you're using like the.
Yeah, so you would still be
Gotcha.
using the joystick to move, or you can use a PlayStation 4 DualShock.
Okay.
So you
then
would
how would you? Oh, here we go. So how would you do that? How would you do that with a PlayStation 4 controller?
I'm imagining
like the thing.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. PlayStation VR is one of those things where
straight through into the TV is what you end up doing.
Yeah, so I'm imagining it'll probably be you have to use the PlayStation Move controllers, is what I would imagine.
That's coming out January, it says.
Yeah, so it's going to be launching with the PlayStation 4/PlayStation 5 version of it. The PSVR one's going to be.
Joe's back. Did you see all that? Did you catch all of that?
I watched the video when he sent it to the group. And I felt I'm hoping that
you're a Hitman fan, right? Like you want
I am a Hitman fan.
Are you? I didn't think you were.
Yeah, I played Hitman what was it? Blood Money?
Yeah, Blood Money is still the best one.
Yeah. And but what I didn't like about it when I watched it, and mind you, it's a demo, that it seemed a little janky for me.
Right. And I think that's gonna, anytime you're looking at VR footage, not in a VR headset, I think it's always gonna come across a little janky. But that's just my personal opinion.
I'm curious what Bobby thinks. Bobby,
I'm waiting.
Video game person, what do you think here for VR video games?
I don't know. If I'm not like fully immersed in it and I just have two controls, I'm not going to be into it. Either give me the controller or give me a full like
treadmill
what's
and
that
all
movie?
that stuff?
Give me the full treadmill so it's actual VR.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be like, what is the name of that movie? I'm forgetting. Ready Player One. I want to be like Ready Player One. Okay, full out.
You come to a way of designing that actual treadmill in a way that'll work. You'll be a bajillionaire, and video games will never be the same again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, give me that for VR. But I mean,
if they ever came out with an actual working one of those, that it would be game over.
I would finally be
with a haptic suit.
Yeah.
Haptic suit that you can feel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who read the book?
Or just you know,
they're coming out with a second one.
Live life
it's on my list.
Real. I don't know. Maybe that's
Ready Player 2. They're going to be coming out.
Yeah. Man, check this out. It's VR. It's like it's almost like real life. I'm like, yeah. Or
punch me in the stomach. Punch me in the stomach.
Tell you what. Put a set of goggles on. Grab your PlayStation controller. I'll watch the screen, and whenever you get hit, I'll just like do a quick jab.
Yeah, I'll just punch you in the stomach.
There's a second delay in the. There's a little lag. There's a little lag.
Just a little lag, but you'll get it. You'll get the idea.
You know, it's like the vibration in a DualShock controller. It doesn't happen right away. It's like a little bit delayed.
Exactly.
Do you have a PSVR, Christian?
I do. I got one for 2 Christmases ago. I don't use it a ton currently. I got it mainly for Beat Saber. Beat Saber was like the one big thing that like I wanted it for, which is it's so cool.
I have a video of my wife.
Hey guys.
Yes. Huh?
Hey,
Petro. You're both back.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You're not a transformer.
Thank God.
I can hear you.
You
have a mic?
This was the Hail Mary thing. Look at the
dude. Are you
the
rocking a rock band mic right now? Shut up.
It was the Hail Mary of all the Hail Marys, honestly.
That is fantastic.
And now Alberto with the news. Over to you, Alberto.
And he stands up there in front of the camera with the Rock Band logo facing the camera. You have to.
You have to. It's legal.
Hashtag thank you, Rock Band. Dude, that is
amazing.
freaking awesome. I love that. We were just talking about the virtual 3D Hitman VR thing for Hitman 3. Did you see that video at all that released?
Yeah, I did. It was in the State of Play, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very short, very quick.
Would you be interested in that or no?
Yes, but I also don't have a VR and I don't have VR money to throw. So it maybe one day I would love to. But until then, though, it's probably just going to be like a cool thing to kind of stream or watch someone stream and watch someone play.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I honestly don't think VR is really going to be around for a whole lot longer.
At least not console VR.
I disagree.
Definitely not.
I
know
like
you disagree,
Oculus-
Joe. I know you do, but
Like-
I consider it to be such a
Gimmick.
bulky, clunky novelty that hits with a very, very limited audience and is not going to be a big
especially VR in the
moving forward.
format it's in now.
right.
Like
Okay.
without
Gotta
that,
change
without
radically
the
in order for it to
without
be
that
worth.
severe, like you were saying, that immersion aspect of
Right.
it. Like I
Right.
would not be able to sit there and play. Like, okay, for example, like Last of Us 2 is the most recent game I've played. Like,
Right.
like I wouldn't have been able to sit there and play that in VR. I just wouldn't have
Right.
been able to.
No.
And that right there, Christian, is the big issue, I think, for most of the VR stuff. It's the exact same challenges that 3D movies had, which
Yeah.
was, I don't want to stick something on my face for that long and be forced to, and then you add on top of that additional hardware and controls and all that. Like it's it's such a single person novelty. I don't see it catching on widestream for very much longer.
Yeah. I think PC
Where am I
reality
going
will
wrong,
always
Joe?
have a
Go ahead. You think, Christian, you think in PC it has
I think
more
I think
life?
PC virtual reality will always have a larger shelf life because you can do so much more with it. You're not limited by the
a lot
console.
more customizable.
Yeah, you've got a lot like some of the VR stuff they have on PC makes me want to get a high end PC for it.
Yeah.
Like you've got some of these like fighting games and like you've got like these like arena games and all this stuff where it's like so much more developed and so much more immersive. Console VR just I mean Xbox gave up on theirs a couple years ago already?
Yeah.
Like before it even ever really got off the ground.
Those of you listening, leave a comment if you want. What do you think about VR? Is it amazing? Is it a novelty? Is it going to be the future? Is it going away? Joe, where am I wrong here?
I agree with Christian and disagree with him at the same time. With our current systems with PS4, Xbox One, it's not very fun. It is. I have a video of my wife watching a great white shark in VR. You know what I'm talking about? Sharks swimming around, and she's like crying, and it's an amazing video. But but with the next gen coming out, it closes that gap with the realism, and I think it's going to be there. I think that Xbox in the next 2 years will announce a VR headset because there is a market for it.
I don't think they will.
They gave up on the Kinect.
If they do, here's how it'll happen. It'll be a app added to their streaming that is available on your phone, and they're going to have an accessory to go with it.
Like one of those ones where you snap the phone into the
Simple
thing.
and easy, kind of like an Xbox, kind of like top tier version of that. But it won't be a full on like, hey, check out our kick-ass VR setup that you need to drop another $300 on. That does not fit their model at all.
Okay.
Oculus, sure. Maybe they'll do a partnership with Oculus.
Partnership with Oculus. That's what I'm predicting.
I could see that happening.
That's what I'm predicting. So
yeah, but that's putting their.
Let's make a deal.
All right.
It's August 9th. I'll give you till August 30th, which happens to be my birthday. If we do not hear about VR news in 2 years.
In 2 years.
Hear me out.
Bold of you to assume the planet will still be around in 2 years.
I was going to say, if we're not all
He's like
dead,
in 700 days from now, if we don't hear it.
Hey, if 2020 doesn't kill us, if they don't make any news, I will buy you a new Xbox, man.
Sounds good. Cool.
If they do make news, you buy me a VR set.
I don't know about that, dude. Buy you a VR set?
Yeah, I'm willing to buy.
So what exactly are the parameters of what it means to have VR news? I'm curious. What do you mean by that?
Any VR news? I'm gonna go with. I'll make it more specific.
I was gonna say
if they partnership with Oculus in the next 2 years, or any other big VR headset maker. Not a phone. I'm not talking about a phone. I'm talking about like
An
an
actual
headset,
VR
like a
setup.
PSVR. I will buy you an Xbox. I'll buy you a brand new.
You
Xbox.
won't need to do that because I already have one by then.
I'll buy you something. I'll buy you something really nice.
I'm sure I'll probably already
I'll
have
buy you
one.
some nice lingerie for yourself.
There we go. Yeah. Will you be wearing it?
Anyways,
Yeah.
on that
Moving
note,
on.
On that note,
On that
second PSVR related news: Vader Immortal comes out August 25th, which people weren't. This game has been in the works for a little while, but they just all of a sudden this week were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, August 25th, here it comes." So,
What's it about?
it's a first person. It's a VR Darth Vader game. You are
so
playing as.
Anakin or-
So you're playing as Darth Vader?
Or
yes.
Anakin?
I mean, it's one and the same.
No, there's two different people.
Well, according to Obi-Wan.
From the details.
from a certain point of view.
Exactly. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you.
So here, let me read you verbatim what it says.
Okay.
It says the entire episodic game will be available in one purchase, includes 3 episodes as well as your lightsaber dojo. Brief trailer was shown off today during the latest state of play. Didn't really offer any new info. The good news is we already know it's a solid game and showcase for VR is well worth playing. So this is something that was developed for traditional VR, but is being transitioned to PlayStation VR as well.
Can you kill younglings? That's what I really want to know.
You know what? I don't know.
Here's the thing about Vader and Anakin. But
What?
Looking at all of the screenshots I can see, it looks like you are just straight up Darth Vader. No Anakin, just straight up Darth Vader.
The screenshot I'm seeing is hands though. It's not
totally
it's not,
Anakin. Yeah.
It's not gloves.
That's an Anakin.
Perhaps that could be the lightsaber dojo where it's just generic training,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, possible.
Because it looks like looks like you're like deflecting bullets. I'm not quite sure. There's not a ton of info about it yet.
Yeah. As a Star Wars fan, I would want to say if there was an Anakin mode and a Darth Vader mode, they'd have to be two different characters because Anakin is more acrobatic and fluid, where Darth Vader was limited in his movement and he had to change his lightsaber style.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
it
has to be a different
3
playable
episodes all at once. So potentially you start as Anakin and then become Darth Vader
So
in like
I've-
second episode or something.
I have
like that.
had conversations with people. I don't know, Christian, you're a big like Disney person. Have you done the like big VR Vader experience?
I have
3D
not.
thing? Is that
I
Disney
have
World or
not.
no?
I've wanted to.
'Cause I've heard it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've just never.
And-
every time I've ever went and like thought about doing it, it's
Yeah.
always been either like temporarily closed or like
Right.
a really long line, or I just haven't been like, you know what, let me go take the time to go do that.
So my understanding of what makes it so amazing, and Bobby, you'll appreciate this. The reason why it's so amazing is because it's not you just standing somewhere watching the stuff and seeing your hands move. You are walking through an entire physical space that is set to the exact parameters of where walls and the like floor and everything is exactly designed as it
that's
is
what I've
in
heard about
VR.
Where is this?
And you're interacting with the
It's
environment as if it's actually there.
Disney at Florida is where they have it. They've gone through a couple
Right.
different ones. I'm not even
That's
sure if it's
VR
still
that I
the-
want. That's
I'm
the
not
kind
even
of
sure if
VR
it's still
experience
the
I
Darth
want.
Vader one. I think they might have switched it.
You can't get that at home. You
I
definitely
will sell one of my kids to go experience this.
You'll sell one. I'll let you and your wife debate over which one.
That's what the bargain
Maybe you've
is
already
for.
worked that out. Maybe you talked through that.
Am I
Depends
too
on the
old to be in
day.
the Jedi Academy at Disney World?
I think so.
But I'm a kid
Yeah.
at heart.
Right, exactly.
I don't know,
But
man.
would you buy a PlayStation 5 for VR?
Would I buy like an entire system just for VR stuff?
I'm curious. Is VR a big enough thing to drop an extra $300 for you, or not really?
No, so recently I've been playing like just like a big mix of games, but I just jumped back into like Call of Duty multiplayer the other day with a buddy of mine, and we haven't played multiplayer in a long time. And I got nauseous from how fast everything felt and just how much movements there was. So
Welcome to being an adult.
yeah. So
male.
like, so now, if I can't even handle just like more than 15 minutes of Call of Duty multiplayer, then I know I probably can't handle VR for too long without me getting some
Right.
sort of motion sickness.
Yeah, I can only play VR for short bursts, maybe like an hour tops.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Valkyrie on PSVR?
I have not. I've only played a couple games on PSVR.
When I had my PSVR before I sold it, that was my main game where you're sitting in a cockpit.
Yeah.
You're looking around. I absolutely loved that game.
And that makes a lot of sense because it fits the parameters of the world that you're in physically in real life, which is you're sitting down.
Yeah.
And not going anywhere.
And then I played the Star Wars VR.
The Star Wars Battlefront, right? They had the first one. Did the second one ever do VR or no?
Just the first one, I believe.
First one. Okay.
But it was really, really fun. I miss having my PSVR. I honestly do. So
that's I never had it, and when I went over to hang out with you and I experienced it, I was like, it's neat.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is very situational.
Here's the funny thing: when I went over to do like that, because you were like, "No, you need to try this. It's like gonna blow your mind," and I'm like, "Okay, I can't wait to have my mind blown." And I get there, and I swear to God, were you recording me like you did your wife with that whole shark thing or something, like fully
possibly? But you're not as cute as my wife, so I didn't save it.
Fully expecting me to have like a just crazy YouTube viral reaction or something, and I was like, meh. So I did
not cry like my wife did.
Definitely didn't cry. That's for sure.
Last little bit of news I have is just small Nintendo blurb. During the lockdown, they had a 428% profit increase.
Oh snap!
That is
thanks to what game?
The majority thanks to Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing and Nintendo Switch in general was like you can't.
And Nintendo Switches, Nintendo Switches have been sold out at
everywhere I go. When I go do like runs to Walmart or Target or whatever,
anywhere.
I always have a sign up. It's like we do not have any Nintendo Switches.
Yeah, they made a $1.4 billion US profit from April to June.
Wow!
Now, is Animal Crossing fun? Have any of you guys played that?
I have not touched it.
I have not played it. It does not look like my type of game.
It basically looks like cutesy Nintendo Sims.
Yeah, that's kind of it's like Life Simulator.
Yeah,
which
I'm
it's not
bored by my own life enough.
Yeah.
Let alone.
But I mean, 22.4 million copies of Animal Crossing sold.
I get to go garden my plants right now. Oh, I get to go to my fake job and my game. Like, no, come on.
So Nintendo,
I think it's
well.
cute. It's cute. It's a pretty cute game.
Alberto, have you played it?
I have played it. I've been playing it since the original GameCube one, and I guess like the best way to really know if you'll like it, it's like if you like slice of life anime or stuff from Studio Ghibli, you'll probably end up liking something like this because it has that same level of charm and that kind of escapism. And I think that's what people like me and a lot of other people, like the other 22 million people that ended up buying or playing it. Like I don't play it, but my girlfriend and my sister play it, and they play it a lot, and so do every single one of my college friends, every single one of my other real close friends. So they put in tons of hours into that because it has a different level of charm from the real gray outlook that like life is constantly throwing at us every single week. So yeah, it's super cute. They just added this update where you can create your own firework display, and a friend of mine created a firework display that paints the face of Danny DeVito in the sky. So I'm just like, there's just so much creativity that you can constantly do. Yeah, no, absolutely. And then my girlfriend's island has a little section in her island that has like a corner of a wrestling ring that that's just like hidden all the way in the back, and it just looks like this is where street brawls are taken at, where people get beaten up for money.
Where all your cutesy little animal people are gonna just
That's where they settle it. That's where
It's
they
a
settle it.
Pokemon battleground.
This is the dark side. This is the dark side of Animal Crossing over here in this corner. Wow, that's interesting. So I guess I'll move on to streaming news, and then we'll dive into movie stuff. Which Alberto, I mean, it's kind of the topic for the day, so we'll continue that. But first and foremost, all you Disney Plus and classic '90s X-Men fans. It's not anything official, but one of the original creators of the 90s X-Men series, Larry Houston, recently announced or revealed, I guess, on a podcast for Wizard World that he has been in conversations with people at Disney Plus about reigniting this series. And with the team, and he did some kind of a pitch, and a bunch of like all the original creators and animators and all of that seemed to be, hey, check that out. Joe's got who was that? Was that Rogue?
That was Rogue.
It's Rogue.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wait, there's more.
Is that Remy?
And hey,
Oh, yeah,
there we
it's
go.
John
Very
Beats.
nice. So that series could be coming back, which would be amazing.
Is it a
love
sequel
that.
or another reboot?
It would not be a reboot. It would be the original animators and design team. I don't know if they'd get all the voice actors back. Again, it's not like this is a concrete thing. So he didn't have a whole lot of stuff to really say other than to say, yeah, we've talked with Disney about it and we've pitched them some ideas and let them know that we would be totally down for going back into this series if they wanted. And if they if the people want it, that's the real question.
The charm of that's sorry.
No, go ahead, Bobby.
I was gonna say, the charm of that series, it was really good to the source material. It didn't follow the source material exactly.
It felt like a comic though, watching it one episode at a time.
Yes,
which was really cool.
Yes, but it was close enough to the source material. You wanted to watch the episode, then go back to the original comics and see how they tweaked it, and it was pretty darn close, especially for a kid's show.
And then ironically, and there's some interesting documentaries out there too about how the release of certain episodes were put out of order because the rate at which they were making the episodes, like some things would just get done sooner. They'd create a whole series, but like episode 2 would be rendering or not quite finished yet. And episode one was not done, but episode 2 was. And so they'd release 2 first. And then the next episode they put out the next week was actually the first episode of the series. I don't know. It's interesting, confusing stuff about the way the broadcast television worked back then. But I have a feeling if they put it out on a streaming service, it would be here's like the whole season probably.
Like Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus. It's currently the whole thing is on Disney Plus, which is awesome. And it'd be cool to see a new season just added on there. I would love that. So, and then not to be outdone. Oh, snap. You guys knew I was going to be going here. Zack Snyder on his Vero account this past week released a image that he said was he says apologies essentially about the low res. I don't know. That's not if that's low res, then sweet. Of what Steppenwolf will officially be looking like in his Justice League when it comes to HBO Max. And I'm curious what you guys think about this, because if you remember, did you guys ever see, how many of you saw the ultimate version of Batman v Superman? Did you guys all see that?
Yep.
Bobby, did you see the ultimate version or no?
No, you guys we were supposed to stream that or borrow it or something like that
Something
together.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of that, there was this scene added right here, which is Steppenwolf basically communicating, being communicated to about the mother boxes with Lex Luthor. That's Jesse Eisner down here. That's what he was officially looking like in the Ultimate Cut. Then we got Justice League, and this is what he looks like. Right?
Basically looks like the exact same thing they did to Ares and Wonder Woman.
Right. And you're like, I don't know about you guys, but when I saw the Justice League movie in theaters, I was like, what the hell is this? The other guy looks so badass. Why would you go back? And then there was all kinds of debate back in December because where's the, here we go. Zack Snyder released this before the official announcement of the Justice League coming out. 214 represents how long his version of the original cut of the movie was. And what is the secret of the Grail? That's just a line that is a part of a whole series of pictures that came out connecting to his theme that he was putting in of the Justice League coming together, not unlike the Knights of the Round Table and King Arthur and all that stuff. But you'll notice which version it is. And I was a little thrown off by that when it first came out because I was like, okay, he said he hasn't seen a single minute of the theatrical version of the movie. And if that's the case, then that means that this picture is either a still shot of that, which I don't think it is, or this is the version that he was planning on releasing in the movies, right? Mm-hmm. At that time, I felt compelled, because I'm in this Facebook group, to throw a question out to all of these big Zack Snyder Justice League fans, what version of Steppenwolf they prefer to see in the Justice League re-release if the Snyder Cut ever came out. And at that point, it hadn't been announced. Overwhelmingly, everybody wanted the Batman v Superman guy, like 518 to 27, right? This is a very non-scientific poll. And then now officially we've got Zack Snyder throwing this out there, which makes it look like he's going back in and changing. If it was originally this guy in his original theatrical version, it looks like he's going in and changing all of it back to this guy.
And that's the thing that I've been curious about for a while now, is we know for a fact Joss Whedon didn't want to film 100% of a movie.
Right.
There was a lot of that movie that was already filmed. He went in and butchered a lot of it and filmed new scenes and spliced stuff and did his own editing and all that stuff. So I wonder how much of this Zack Snyder Justice League that we're going to get is him seeing, oh, they hated that, they hated that, they hated that, let me change that. And how much of it is, oh, this is exactly what I was going to release X amount of years ago. It would not surprise me if a large portion of what he does is modifications of his original plan based on feedback.
I'm sure a lot of it is going to be based on feedback for sure. Like, he gets how many years of response from fans to be able to feed off of to remake the film the way he wants. I mean, I don't know. I put this up on the my Vero account that I have, because that's, you need a Vero account in order to follow him. I don't know if he saw this or he saw feedback from other fans or whatever. But I think overwhelmingly more people thought that the version of Batman v Superman was just like intimidating.
I mean, it's also possible that could be a Thanos situation, and everything that we're seeing in that new version is armor. And that could be what he looks like under the armor.
And dude, I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, it looks like,
yeah, it looks like it's all skeletal and muscular.
Him, maybe there's some armor there.
It's also, also possible that just
very different than this.
Yeah,
like that's clearly a dude in a suit and a helmet.
Well, I'm saying in that the Vero one that he posted.
Yeah, this one here.
No, like the other one that you showed with the 214. Like, it's possible, like, that could be.
Yeah. This one,
because that doesn't look exactly the same as the Justice League one. It looks very, very similar.
It's closer though.
Wasn't there some feedback about how he was supposed to look like, and they made him more human-like based on audience reaction.
Yeah.
So that was, if I'm using logic, I'm thinking that was what it was gonna look like, and then they just kept watering down when Joss Whedon got involved.
And he could have even been forced to start tweaking it originally.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, Christian. The percentage and statistics and like information that have come out as far as the amount of reshoots that were done on his film sounds like about 80% of the movie we saw is all Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
like that's not.
Well, I'm
that's
just
not
saying,
just reshoots. That's like a whole new movie.
I'm saying for Steppenwolf, it's possible that before Joss Whedon even took over, they could have been doing those test screenings.
Oh, I'm sure they probably were.
And they could have even said to him, "Hey, you need to water Steppenwolf down."
And I think you're on it. Yeah, I think honestly, when Zach was originally making the movie, the studio probably forced him to go this route right here. And now that he's got an opportunity to go back and do it again with less interference, now he's like, well, screw it. I'm going back to my original plan and we're going to go with this guy.
Yeah.
Which I prefer. But I'm curious what you guys think. Out of those two, do you have a preference? Alberto, what do you think? You're standing there like staring at it like mystically, like, what is this thing? Do you prefer the old version from Batman v Superman? Did you like the Justice League version? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the Snyder version of it. I think design-wise, he looks a lot more intimidating with the spikes and kind of just like the real extraterrestrial type of like body shape. When he had his armor, he reminded me a lot of Ronan from Guardians of the Galaxy. He looked like the same design, except they added horns.
Yeah.
And I just saw it and I was like, that's the most safe, simple, bad guy with an armor design I've ever seen. So I don't know how much it will change the personality-wise when Snyder Cut comes out. I'm assuming and I'm hoping a lot. Because
the original trailer had the voiceover of Steppenwolf and that whole line of like Earth is without its defenders and it's got no Kryptonian. Like that voice was radically different than the thing we saw in the theater.
Yeah.
What?
So hopefully like this new version is going to be the intimidating foe that is supposed to be the thing that the Justice League is shaking in their boots for.
I hope so.
That's essentially what this guy is supposed to be, not a Ronin cosplayer. So I don't know.
Right, that's exactly right. Joe, I mean, out of those two, do you have a preference or you don't really care?
I like the one that you had most votes on. I don't know.
This guy right here.
That guy right there. He's more intimidating.
Definitely.
More threatening. The other guy looks like I don't know. I can understand why they defeated him.
yeah, definitely.
So he just doesn't seem like a real threat.
Yeah, totally.
Well, another reason why they probably changed him, kids going to see movies and they want to buy toys, I'm bringing my kid to see this movie. I don't want my kid to see that. I want him to go see the other guy because then he's going to get scared and he's not going to want to see this movie.
Yeah, but if I'm the kid, I'm going to be like, dude, that guy looks freaking sick. I want that toy.
But if you're bringing but if you're an 8-year-old, they're trying to, I mean, I'm thinking like a business executive with a family and someone's bringing their family. Like, I want the watered down version so I can have more kids in my movie theater instead of this guy.
You want to sell a toy of a villain that's totally badass and grabbing.
I'm surprised they didn't sell a toy of the Russian family with how much focus they put on them in the
movie.
Right. Yeah.
You got a little truck and they all sit in the back.
Yeah.
And like a little flash toy that you wind up and he pushes it down your kitchen floor or something.
Dan, let me ask you a question while we're on the Zack Snyder topic.
Oh gosh. All right. We got to get to our main topic here, but yes.
How close to the 214 do you think we actually get? For longer, shorter?
Way past. Way past it now. Yeah. Okay. Way past it. I'd say we get at least 3 hours, if not 4. 5. Good Lord. I could eat all of it up, to be honest.
We talked about they were going to do 6.
Yeah, they were going to do 6. I think they're talking 6 episodes, and if it's 2 3-hour movies, essentially a part 1, part 2, and that's 6 hours. Yeah. So way past 214, if you ask me. But, and that leads us to our big conversation. The streaming world and all the changes that Disney specifically has been deciding to make. Bobby found this. Bobby, tell us what we're looking at here. This is.
So first, I just want to say, let's get down to business.
Yes.
As we fight the Huns.
There we go. There it is. Mulan, right?
All right.
Mulan.
So Disney just had its third quarter So this is from the Disney Investor Relations webpage. And this is over the past 5 years. You can see it's down high. And then over the this is the day. Dan, can you switch over to the 6 month or 1 year view?
6 month.
Yeah, click on the 1 year. Yeah, so click on the 1 year just so you can see what was happening. So you can see right that dip is March. That's their stock price right there.
Oh.
And then it's slowly.
Dang, that'd be the time to buy it right there.
So, and now it's slowly creeping back up.
$86.
All of so besides going into this big Disney conversation, a lot of the revenue is down because of COVID-19. But there was a 2% increase in VOD and streaming services, specifically Disney Plus. This week, they permanently delayed the release of Mulan in U.S. theaters and said they're now going to introduce a $29.99 price point on September 5th for existing Disney subscribers. So they get to keep it forever as long as they're continuing to subscribe to Disney Plus. And it's going to have a limited release in international theaters where there's lower restrictions on COVID-19.
Okay, so here's my question about that, Bobby. If you buy it up front, you're basically getting early release.
Yep.
Like 6 months before everybody else, essentially.
Yeah.
Because it'll come to Disney Plus eventually.
Eventually,
will it stay on Disney Plus for very long? Will they do the whole rotation thing and the Disney Vault and and that whole thing?
So here's the thing. What the CEO said. He said this is a one-time deal. Everyone, this is a one-time deal, and I'm paraphrasing.
Sure.
This is a one-time deal.
Sure.
But it's going to be interesting to see the feedback we get. So people like Joe with with four girls, right, Joe?
Yep.
So 4 girls and a wife. This is aimed for a family, not for the single guy that wanted to see it in the movie theater. This is for the family guy that's paying $100 in the movie theater. Wait, I can only pay $30 for a first release? That's a heck of a deal. So they're aiming for that. And if they get enough success, then this could lead to like movies like Black Widow having a direct VOD release with a higher price point to see.
And here's my follow-up to that. As I'm looking at this, if it's buying for a permanent access to it on Disney Plus, that requires you to have to be subscribed to Disney Plus in order to reap the benefits of paying
forever and ever and ever. Forever and ever and ever. Yep.
So here's where, for me, I don't think that's worth it for me. And we can go around here and we'll just go around the room and see who would be in for it or not. But for me, like, I'm sorry. If it was $30 and you could add it to my Movies Anywhere, link that up and sync it so that I could play that everywhere else other than on Disney Plus, sure, that sounds great. But that's where, like, AMC right now, I've got their app. They've got all of these like on-demand movies and stuff that you can rent like dirt cheap or that you can buy dirt cheap. They got all these sales going on, and I ignore all of it because none of it is connected with my larger digital movie library that I already have built over all of these other platforms. So if Disney's going to be like, hey, $30, like, that's close to what it would be if I were to spend. It's a little higher, but
you're also getting the purchase of it.
Right, but I'm getting the purchase of it as long as I'm
$30.
continuing to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Here's the thing, though. That's no
different than Vudu, where I buy it.
It's no different than what Amazon Prime does for their movies. Amazon Prime lets you buy movies, and you have to have Amazon Prime to access them.
Right.
It's no,
No,
it's
you
no
don't,
different than
though.
if you purchase a
No,
movie through Comcast
Christian,
on
you don't.
demand.
You can have Amazon Prime synced up with Movies Anywhere, and your Amazon library that you pay for is connected with all of the other movies that you've already purchased rights to. So when I find a movie library like YouTube or Vudu or Flickster, like all of these other platforms, they're all connected to Movies Anywhere. And any platform that is connected with Movies Anywhere, I can watch those movies on any one of those platforms that are connected to it. I pay for it in one place, and I can watch it on all of them.
Okay.
Right? I can't do that with the AMC app because they're not connected to that library.
Right.
So I'm not bothering spending any money on any of those things, no matter how good of a deal it is, because it's not connected to my whole library.
Yeah.
In my mind, the same thing would apply with Disney Plus. If I have to subscribe to that service in order to be able to watch the movies that you're wanting me to then spend additional money on, I'm not spending my money. In my mind, that's not worth it for me. So,
but wouldn't you be? But you're subscribing to that service for other things already. You're not
Disney Plus, I
subscribing to
would
that.
be, yeah. But if
Yeah,
my daughter
I'm saying.
grows up, the only reason we have Disney Plus right now really is because of Lily. And if she grows up and she's not in, like, I lose the money that I invested in the movie library if it's requiring being subscribed to the whole service on top of that. Does that make sense? So for me, it's like, well, I'd rather just wait 6 months until it comes out and then rent it or buy it on Vudu or Movies Anywhere, where it's available on everything. So
if they do that, there's the potential that if this is the route Disney's going to go with their movies, this might just be the route they go with their movies.
I don't think they're going to say no to people spending money on their movies. I don't think they will.
And right now, this is also to recoup. Well, they already know this movie's a loss because of COVID, and they want to release this movie, and they want to at least recoup some of the money. So this is their plan for the rumored Variety reported $200 million it cost to make this movie plus advertising.
Yeah.
So this is their way to
try and get some of the
try to get some back and to see, okay, is this a viable product for other features that we have coming up?
Joe, and then, I'm curious, would you drop $30 on it if it's only available on Disney Plus or no?
I would. And I'm going to explain to you why. It's because one is, and this is a unique circumstance. One is Mulan is my wife's favorite movie, Disney movie.
Fair enough.
So I would in a heartbeat. But two, I don't see a difference in me taking my family going to the theater, just dropping $70,
mm-hmm.
and then 6 months later buying the movie when it comes out, because I would have done that too. I'm still saving money, even if I bought $30. Pay $30 to see it when it comes out September 5th, and 6 months later I buy it on Vudu. I'm still gonna save money.
Yeah.
And are you going to continue to subscribe to Disney Plus, Joe? Is there any reason why you would stop subscribing?
Yes. I'm not a big Disney fan, actually, but we actually share our Disney Plus with other people, and they help pay for it, so it's not that big of an expense for me. So,
gotcha.
And did you know? So Disney also has they're looking at rights to start looking at people's IPs to stop people sharing codes on their platform.
And when that happens,
lose customers probably.
When that happens, I will probably end my service with them.
Here's the thing: Netflix has been trying to do that for years. Yeah, I don't see any realistic way to ever do that, because who's to say somebody at college isn't using the same thing that they're paying for their home? Right. There's no way to realistically prove who's sharing and who's just a family using the same account. There's no realistic way to prove that.
It's the nature of the beast to some degree, and I think the more they focus on trying to work with that factor rather than against it, not unlike the music industry did when they saw all of the music and media was going on file sharing and like you could download music, and then suddenly like every record label was like freaking out about how this is going to ruin music and ruin the music industry. And then somebody, Steve Jobs, for example, comes along and goes, no, we're going to simplify it. We're going to make you a lot of money by just saying every one of your songs can be bought for $1 to play it on your iPad or your iPod, right? Like that was a game changer on making music portable legally for everybody.
And there's a reason why Disney Plus just came out and said, okay, you get 4 screens. It's not like Netflix where they're like, okay, you can buy for 1 screen, 2 screen, 3. Like they were just like, you get 4 screens. You can watch it on the same time because they know it's unrealistic to expect that that nobody's going to share accounts. Yeah. It's just not realistic.
Alberto, are you going to be renting Mulan when it comes out or no?
Honestly, I might be upset for whatever reason about price or something, but I'm at the same boat as Joe's wife. Mulan, hands down, favorite Disney princess, favorite original Renaissance Disney movie.
So you're pulling the trigger regardless.
Yeah. So to me, it's like I was gonna spend $30 regardless. It would either be me and my girlfriend going to go see it in the theaters, or me renting it at home so then I can see it with her and also my family. So it's no difference to me. But if anything, one point I wanted to touch up on is a point that Bobby was making earlier when he was saying that it kind of almost makes sense that Disney is using, and for lack of a better term, is using Mulan as the guinea pig for this whole releasing to video on demand, because Black Widow versus Mulan, Black Widow most likely would have ended up making more money. All the Pixar movies, because there was 2 scheduled for 2020, those would have probably made more money than Mulan as well. And so chances are that, like, just like Bobby was saying, and kind of like a mix of everyone, they're depending as to how well or how disastrous the video on demand release of this movie goes, that will kind of determine whether or not like future Disney films, blockbuster ones like that, are going to start getting released. Because I mean, Mulan had a little bit of a rough start with the whole controversy of the actress in the Hong Kong police brutality comments and all that stuff. So ever since then, they've had a rocky start. There's been people,
and there's no Mushu. Come on now.
So original fans are upset. There was like a hashtag boycott Mulan that started months ago, and it was trending on Twitter for days. So it was definitely going an uphill battle regardless. So I'm glad to see it coming out. I'm glad it's not delayed to 2021. But honestly, regardless, I was gonna get it either way. So I mean, Disney could say I'm gonna release it on VHS, and I'll say, all right, like
VHS.
I'm like, just
goodness.
Yeah, go ahead. Just
Lord, go out in the basement and dust off that VCR.
Man, I love Mulan. It is the best Renaissance one. It's like Mulan and everything else. Like Lion King, no, get out of here. Aladdin, get out of here.
Really?
No, hands
down. Mulan over the Lion King and Aladdin.
Dude, wow. I didn't even hesitate right there. Promise you.
You really didn't.
Steve, they should have just made Mulan a one-man show. Just throw Eddie Murphy out there and just let him go wild.
Make him do the voices for every character. Yeah. Totally.
So
definitely.
Mushu is not in this movie?
There's no version of it. There is
Mushu, you mean Mushu?
Phoenix?
Mushu,
there's a
dragon,
Phoenix that plays the same spiritual guide role, but it's not called Mushu. There is no Mushu. There no dragon. None of that. There's a Phoenix or something like that plays the same type of spiritual guide nonsense.
Yeah, they're really focusing on making it an action movie first,
more martial arts film.
Second. Yeah. So martial arts first.
I'm okay with martial arts action, total kick ass. I'm cool with that. But dude, Mushu is such a awesome part of
that would be if they had tried to do the live action Beauty and the Beast without Gaston, or without LeFou. Or
right,
you know what I mean?
If you're going to take away all of the
major supporting character in the film,
right? So we'll see how they do. The interesting thing about this whole transition, though, is to see the tone, and this is probably we'll chat about this, and then we can wrap this up. AMC seriously changing their tune from where it was several months ago when it comes to releasing stuff digitally.
That's because
Maybe
they know if
because
they
it's
don't change their
Disney.
tune.
Oh,
Or maybe it's because they realize they're on their deathbed
Yeah,
and they need to
exactly.
change their tune. But
I was-
yes, Alberto.
I was gonna say something. So earlier during like the whole news section, I wanted to talk real quick, but this is just my excuse to talk about it. AMC's probably saying that because I saw the date of that article on Friday. AMC stock jumped. So the Cinemark stock jumped. I think AMC's jumped like 5% because
Really?
there was like that court order thing. I know Bobby was saying that, like we talked about it last week a little bit, the Paramount decree, and ever since that's been changing, Netflix went down, AMC and Cinemark went back up
Interesting.
because now stockholders are kind of thinking that major movie studios once again can start owning movie chains, can start owning locations, possibly doing a monopoly of what they did back in the golden era, so 1930s, 1940s. So think 100 years ago almost.
Okay.
So back then, like there's a reason why like MGM is so synonymous with those 2 decades, and it's because that, and along with a few other companies, were monopolizing all the theatrical
Actual
releases.
theaters. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
releases. Yeah.
So now, ever since that the courts reversed it and articles started getting published about it on Friday, AMC's and Cinemark's stock obviously just went boop, because now everyone's like, oh, what if it's just going to be a repeat of 100 years ago where they're going to start controlling the movie industry again? This is
Right.
the time to invest into them. So
Right.
Only time
And
to tell.
just a few days ago, AMC's boss was talking about how they survived the whole COVID-19 crisis, trying to speak positively. And I'm wondering if that, to some degree, had an impact on the stock as well. But yeah, like, okay, so what you're saying then basically is, not unlike the streaming services, we could end up getting separate theaters that we have to go to in order to see select companies' movies in the theaters, because they're going to have exclusive rights with certain cinema companies. Is that kind of what you're
Yeah, it's because
saying?
So what happened was that, like,
Interesting.
back in the 40s, the decree passed because studios would have their hands in production, design, distribution, everything else all in between. So they had their hand in everything. And the court says, okay, you need to kind of loosen up your grip. Movie theaters that are owned by other people, they're allowed to show other movies. So, stop feeding them all like the really crappy C-D listed movies for them to only be able to show, so then your privately owned ones can thrive. So what it did, it finally gave a fair chance to all the mom and pop theaters and all the smaller ones in smaller towns. So with this kind of going backwards in history, there's a chance that all the big industries again can start owning their own chains again. And so like if who's the one that owns Trolls? Universal.
Yeah.
So like if Universal gets teamed up with AMC, or if
Which is exactly what happened.
yeah, or like if
That's
Warner
exactly what
Brothers,
happened. Let me bring that up.
or if Warner Brothers decides to team up with like Cinemark, and the Warner Brothers becomes an exclusive at Cinemark, you could start seeing almost the movie wars that was happening roughly 100 years ago. But
Dude, that would get nuts.
But I think people will do their best to not let history repeat itself. And the courts, they were saying that the reason that they reversed it is because they said times have changed. I mean, people stream movies now. They do DVDs, Blu-rays. There's so many different ways to get your media now. So,
Christian, is this conversation boring you?
No, I apologize. I'm so sorry.
I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. Bobby, what do you got, dude?
This is life support. The theaters are on life support. The smaller chains are. I don't know if anyone saw the viral video of the French, of the independent French theater owner, because Mulan, it is getting released in theaters, and Disney Plus is also in France. So he's really mad that people are probably going to go see Mulan there than his theater. Yeah. And there's video of him taking a bat to the Mulan advertising stands in his movie theater.
Hilarious.
It's really quite funny.
I haven't seen that.
So
I gotta watch that.
So you got to watch that, but it's on life support. So all these deals about, I mean, Alberto, there's a good chance that Paramount's going to start playing nice, and there's going to be more exclusives.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, when the Trolls World Tour was one of the first ones to pull the trigger on that, and AMC was like, all right, we're not showing any more Universal Picture movies in our theaters until you change. Like,
Right.
And then what? A month and a half later,
give
they're
it a
like,
month
oh,
and a
wait.
half, and they
There's a profit
realize
share
they're
agreement.
like going out of business, and they're
Yeah.
like, hey, remember that whole thing about us not showing
Yeah.
your movies? Turns out we're not showing any movies. Maybe we should chat.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We'll play with you now. Like, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous. how
they
quickly
said they
they're
were going
changing
to
their
take their
tune.
ball and go home, and then they realized that their home was about to be crushed.
Right.
They didn't have.
And now look at what's happening.
Yeah.
The CEO of AMC is suddenly going, we understand.
Because of that, because I
Disney.
think at the point when Trolls was going to be coming out, people were still holding out that hope that this was going to be a much quicker process.
Yeah, they were.
And that by now we would already all be back in theaters and seeing movies full time.
Right.
And so I think now they're looking at this as, we're just lucky to even not be completely bankrupt and out of business.
Yeah.
Let's not piss
Pretty
off
much.
Disney.
It's so true.
One
I
of
mean,
the largest companies in the world and releasing movies.
I mean, like they could have the fate of all the big box retailers are having right now. Like there was a report that was out that Macy's is closing X amount of stores, Penny's is closing how many stores, and so it's like they were already on a downhill slope, and it didn't help COVID, so they could have easily been packing their bags. And,
I mean, even like you said, even before this, Amazon killed how many stores? It's only a matter of time now that like streaming services are going to start killing movie theaters too.
Yeah, you're going to have to start consolidating, and
it would not
surprise
me if at some point within the next 12 months if AMC and Regal partnered together. It would not surprise me at all.
You think so?
It would not surprise me in the slightest.
I mean, if Universal and AMC are partnering to some degree, you got to wonder if that turns into like a lucrative thing that could grow into something more substantial for sure. But I'm curious about where this all brings things with the whole Walmart thing that we were talking about last week, because Walmart officially brought more details about their parking lot movie theater, drive-in movie theaters
for free.
Because
you know what? Because people are going to pull up into Walmart and they're going to be like, "Oh crap, we don't have any snacks. Let's run into Walmart real quick and buy some popcorn and some
biggest
candy."
Snack ever, right? Yeah. Exactly. But so I was totally in the wrong. I would roll up to a Walmart and watch a movie in the theater for free with my kid, but you can't in Illinois anyway because they're all sold out here. But here's the movies. Here's the movies that are listed. And I'm really kind of blown away at the diversity of some of this.
That's a solid list of movies. I was so
happy when I saw Spy Kids. Oh my god!
Who wants to go see Ghostbusters?
I'm out. Thank you, Bobby.
Let's go see Ghostbusters.
I would much rather see Ghostbusters and Space Jam, right, than Spy Kids? Alberto.
What?
Alberto.
Dude, don't hate on Spy Kids.
Listen,
why are you...
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this, okay?
Really?
So
Spy Kids?
Without
are you a Jacob fan?
Wait, hold on.
Are you Team Jacob?
Without getting too like political or anything. Hispanics never really got like movies to grow up with. This is one of the very few, along with George Lopez, why Hispanic homes love these movies, because I'm like, I get that joke. I understand why the grandma or the grandpa or the uncle's acting that way. Like one of the guys' name is Machete. And that's like a joke because in my garage and all my uncles, what do we have? Machetes. Because Mexicans have them, so it's just kind of funny. So
wait a minute.
Wait. Are we talking about the movie Machete?
Around in your garage? Is that?
Yeah.
In Spy Kids, their uncle is Machete.
Yeah, they're the character. So it's jokes like that where like my family, like especially like me and my sister, we grew to love it. So when I saw it there, I was like, oh, that's one of the best movies ever because we understood every one of those jokes. And it was really awesome to grow up watching that song.
So, Machete.
Alberto, I want to apologize. I was mixing up Shark Boy and Lava Girl with Spy Kids because
they're all in the same ridiculous family
from Twilight is in that. So I apologize.
Did you guys see that they're bringing Shark Boy and Lava Girl back?
No.
Yes,
Don't say
they're
that.
bringing Shark Boy and Lava Girl
No.
back as parents of a superhero family.
I'm gonna log off.
Good night, everybody.
I'm dead serious.
Come
Look it
on.
up.
So
They are
upset.
bringing them back. I think
Why would
Netflix
you-
or something is bringing them back. I forget what it
Of
is.
course.
Something's bringing them back. And they're
Again,
gonna be
back
like,
to the streaming thing, bringing
Yeah.
pointless stuff back from the. Okay, but looking at this list,
it's a good
we've
list.
got this is an awesome list.
Solid
We've
list.
got Wonder Woman, DC. We've got Black Panther, Marvel. You've got Into the Spider-Verse, which yes, Marvel, but actually
Sony.
really Sony.
Yep.
Like E.T. Yes, thank you. Space Jam, Ghostbusters. Yes, thank you. Spy Kids, nah.
You got something for everybody on there. You
Friday Night
legitimately
Lights,
have something for everybody on there.
Yeah. Of that list, let's go down the list. What is the number one on this list that you guys would be interested in, that you would be willing to brave a Walmart parking lot to go see?
I mean, I personally don't know if I would brave a Walmart parking lot to go see any of the movies. I have most of those movies, and I could watch most of those
Yeah,
movies.
but to watch it on a big ass screen, like
Probably Into the Spider-Verse
Into the Spider-Verse. All right.
or Black Panther. would
Okay,
probably be the two I
Bobby,
would
what about
say.
you? What one would you want to see?
Ooh, well, Ghostbusters. Just I don't know. Ghostbusters. What were the other ones? Looking at them.
Yeah, let me bring them up. There's
Bring it back up.
Ghostbusters, E.T., Space Jam, Wizard of Oz, Friday Night Lights, Spy Kids.
I'm going to go with
Woman.
Ghostbusters or E.T. Just if my kid was a little bit older, Ghostbusters
Yeah.
and E.T.
Alrighty. Joe, what about you? What one would you do?
Personally, I would do Ghostbusters, but my kids love Into the Spider-Verse, so we would do that. So that's it.
Alberto?
Top number one, hands down, Spy Kids. Number two would be Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. I thought the art in that and the music.
It was pretty good. Dude.
That was a legit Spider-Man movie.
That was
That
awesome.
was
That was
the
beautiful.
That's
and
the hand down the best Spider-Man movie out of all of them.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
an underrated
For me, I would probably go the older stuff that I was way too young to really enjoy the full experience of in the theater when I was younger. So it would be Ghostbusters or E.T. For sure. Or The Wizard of Oz, maybe.
Is it E.T. with the
But-
flashlights or E.T. with the guns?
I would hope it's E.T. with the guns, the OG. But
So, do you guys know about that?
they
That
did
Steven
yeah.
Spielberg digitally remastered E.T. and took all the guns out of the police officers' hands and changed them to flashlights.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
so because
It's a
he's
kid's
older
movie in
now.
his
It's a
mind,
kids
and they don't
movie,
wanna
and yeah.
But I'm sorry, you mean
there's a whole
police
South Park
officers don't
episode.
run around with? They don't have guns. They do have guns. You should know police officers
But
have guns. Like that.
E.T. was a force welding alien.
He totally
He was in-
was.
he was
E.T.
in the
was
Phantom
totally
Menace.
a Jedi,
He was in
without
the
a
Phantom
doubt.
Menace.
His race is officially canon as part of the Star Wars universe, thanks to
true.
Star Wars Episode 1. So,
Yeah.
E.T. is a friggin' Jedi. You better believe it.
Oh, you could be a force wielder and not be a Jedi.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
You could be a force
He,
wielder
at the
and
very
not be a
least,
Jedi.
knows how to use the Force, which would, dude. Okay, this is going to be our conversation next week. Crazy theories.
Yep.
Okay, this is definitely sparking that conversation for next week. That would mean Force healing was already revealed officially way back with ET.
Shut up.
Mic drop. Everybody's all pissed off with the sequels and
Well,
and
It was
and
introduced in the
Rise
Mandalorian.
of Skywalker and blah blah blah. Yes, it was in the Mandalorian,
And it
but
was in the-
decades before that. ET force healing people already.
The world's least known Star Wars spin-off movie. E.T.
Exactly. Thank you.
And it was force healing was also in the the expanded novels.
Yes.
Yes,
So-
it is.
They need
It's-
to remaster that and change it to E.T. a Star Wars story.
Hey, Dan, can I go into one
I'm
more?
going to work on a graphic for that for next week already, and you know I
There you
am.
go.
There's one more thing. There's a rumor going around saying that they're now going to start digitally. So can you bring up that
I do
image
have
of
that.
Luke
Yep,
Skywalker?
I do have that as well. Yep.
So our favorite blogger, Doomcock.
No, this guy. I do not like this
I know,
guy at all.
But he has a track record. There's rumors going.
Yeah.
He has the track record of reporting accurate rumors that Disney bought the rights to Mark Hamill's image, and they're now looking to use his image in future Star Wars films, to use a younger version.
He's the same one who was trying to perpetuate the idea of a Lucas cut of the Rise of Skywalker.
If that article said that Harrison Ford had sold his rights, I'd believe it infinitely more than Mark Hamill selling his
I would
rights.
totally agree.
Well, right now, and that
Totally
doesn't matter
agree.
just Mark Hamill, but just in terms, they're trying to develop the technology of they're trying to General Tarkin from Rogue One, use dead actors or use older actors and put them back in their primes to remake movies, to continue their IPs. Is that the
Just
future
come
of
up with
movies?
new ideas.
Well, there was
come up with new ideas.
I feel like beginning of the year, there was an article going around that they were making a Western movie with some like Western actor who had died like 50 years ago. They were making like a brand new movie, completely digitalizing him.
John Wayne.
Might have been John Wayne. I don't remember what it was, but I remember seeing something about that, and then it just kind of fell off the face of the earth because everybody was like, "No, you shouldn't be doing that." I think it's okay when you're having somebody reprise a role that they did in a short burst, like Tarkin, like something like that. When it's already established that character should have been there for that, but I don't think they should be doing that for full feature films or as like a main character or something like that. Like when the actor has passed away and you need to do that to fill in something, but I don't think they should be doing that to like create new movies and stuff like that. That's a little too out there.
What if COVID is still happening? I agree. I think there's a respect with, I do agree with you, Christian, but what if this COVID-19 quarantine is still happening and you want to still make movies, but you can digitally create actors? Is that a viable solution if you can make it legit? That just
it's never going to look legit.
I don't know that I'm with you, Christian. I don't know that it would ever look nearly as good, and I don't know that people are going to be willing to spend
all of your
a ton of
actors
money
quarantine during filming. I mean, the Rock is getting ready to film a new movie right now, and he posted this whole big thing about how every actor in their film and every crew member in their film has signed a contract agreeing to quarantine the entire time they're filming the movie. You got NBA players who are playing in Wide World of Sports down in Disney right now. They're all quarantining. They're in their hotel room, and then they go to play basketball, and then they go back to their hotel room. Like, that's just what if this is all happening still, that's just what you do. People who are going to do something, they just have to quarantine to do it. I don't think that for how much money actors get paid, I don't think that's unrealistic to ask from them.
But with that said, the technology for like deep fake and all of that stuff, it's getting pretty big.
It is. I mean, like
good.
the Back to the Future.
For example, Joe sent me a text of a really, really creepy video of him looking like Wonder Woman. And it looked really, really good. And it was weirding me out.
Yeah, that creeped me out. I didn't like that, Joe.
I looked really hot.
What did Dan do?
You looked incredibly inappropriately hot with your face. Not okay. With that said, I use the exact same extremely easily accessed technology on my phone to make myself into The Rock, right? Like,
you look like Mr. Clean.
Do you even lift, bro? Like, that's like the question I'm asking here, right?
Photoshop a mop into that hand, and you are Mr. Clean.
I totally look like Mr. Clean, right?
Yeah, it's like a really buff nostalgia critic.
That's exactly right. I'm gonna make this my profile picture. If I was single, I'd probably throw that up on whatever dating service is. Check it out. I look just like The Rock. Yeah, right.
But COVID got you into depression.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Here's the thing about deepfake and the technology coming out. as a Star Wars fan, I am 100% okay with that because they have some rich lore that they can pull from. They can't do now because Princess Leia is dead. They're all old, and so I'm 100% down with watching a Thrawn trilogy.
Okay, but the younger versions of Luke and Leia in Rise of Skywalker were not really cutting it for me. I don't know about you. I didn't think they looked good, but they didn't look great. Like you could totally
I would
tell.
much rather just see them recast the characters,
Yeah.
like they did with Solo.
I agree with you, Christian. I agree with you.
Like, if you're like, just do like, because okay, what's next? Marvel is going to have Robert Downey Jr. sign his likeness on so they can resurrect Iron Man and have him play Iron Man forever.
Right?
Well,
Like,
well, how about this? What if they recast a young Star Wars? They just redid everything. Episodes 5, 6, 4, 5, and 6.
I'm going to throw this out here right now. It would not surprise me if in our lifetime we see those movies remade. Like just straight up remade. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
There are some films that just do not need to be remade. Citizen Kane,
You're right.
Star Wars, and Muppets from Space. Like there are certain movies you just don't need to do that again.
Well, here's the thing: they already
made it the first time. You're good.
They already remade Star Wars. It was called The Force Awakens.
Right, they did. They absolutely did. They recast it, and they already did the recasting thing with Solo, right?
Yeah.
Like they did that already, and I was going into that fully expecting myself to absolutely hate it and resisting the idea of anyone playing Han Solo other than Harrison Ford. And 20 minutes in, I just didn't even care anymore. I was just like, let me just enjoy the movie.
It was just Han Solo. It
wasn't Harrison Ford, and I just accepted it and just tried to enjoy the movie.
Yeah,
I figured, why would I be a dick during the whole film?
You need to watch it. Like it.
You're talking to Joe.
Yeah, because
I haven't watched it.
You still haven't seen Solo? You haven't seen it even one time?
Not even one time,
dude.
You should. It is a much better film than most people give it credit for.
It's not the greatest Star Wars movie ever. They definitely jam way too much stuff in there.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
Okay.
That way.
I will watch it between now and next Sunday, and I will rate it on a scale 1 to 5.
I would love to get your impression on it for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely
Joe's 3-minute Solo review.
3-minute Solo review.
So with that said,
Solo review.
With that said, we're going over here past our usual 2-hour mark, but we do want to squeeze in the pointless debate because we always end with the pointless debate.
Okay, let's see.
And this week's pointless debate is being set up by none other than our friend Alberto,
the reigning champion.
The reigning champion.
Did he win again
can't
last
win
week?
This week, Alberto.
Did he win again last week? Is he undefeated?
Yeah, he won last week. He's undefeated.
Alberto is undefeated.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, Alberto, what is our pointless debate this week? I have to know.
So I asked my girlfriend and my sister like 8 different ideas, and we threw a lot of ideas. But I feel like it's only appropriate
if it sucks. If it sucks, you can blame them. Is what you're saying?
No. Hold on.
I'm kidding.
In the spirit of having my Rock Band remote, or mic, I'm going to stick with I think this was plan C or D, but plan C or D. Should I tell you guys first, or should I say a number 1 through 10?
Yeah, we should do that first.
We gotta pick. Don't tell us yet.
Okay.
We need to pick for and against.
Okay.
We all need to pick a number. Whoever wins, you decide who your partner is, and then the other persons decide whether they're for or against the 2 that are left. So, I'm a go with. Oh shoot! What are we doing here? I guess I'll do 10. I'll just go with 10.
Okay. Christian is the closest. Number was 4.
Christian is the closest. Okay, Christian, you get to pick your partner.
All right, I will go.
Remember, I've lost all of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dan. Dan, you can be my partner.
Oh, nice. All right. Me and Christian.
Just say
Joe and Bobby Are you going to go for or against?
Joe, I'll let you go because
Let's
I
go
got bad
for
instincts.
Let's go
This
for
one is going to be like a
Four.
little different. It won't be entirely for and against, but here. I'll just
Oh,
tell you
you're
the prompt.
messing up with my graphics,
Hold on.
dude. What are you doing? You can't.
It's a
I
little
got
bit.
graphics that are
I threw
for
a
and
curveball
against. What are you
last
doing to me, man? Come
I
on
threw a
now.
curveball last week. Come on. We can give
All right,
Alberto.
we'll be flexible, I guess.
All right, here it is then. Dan and Christian, you guys will be going for saying that Guitar Hero as a series is better than Rock Band as a series. Which one is the reigning music rhythm game champion?
Interesting.
Okay, so wait, so the arguing point is saying that Rock Band is better than a Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
No, that Guitar
So that
Hero
is the
Guitar Hero is better than Rock
statement.
Band.
Okay,
so you guys
so-
are for and they're against. So they're
No,
defending.
Joe said they want to be
Hero.
for.
So
No,
we're
no, I
for
wanna
Rock
be
Band.
against. I want to be. We're for Rock Band.
We're for Rock Band.
Okay.
We're for Rock Band. I could do that.
Okay,
I
so
could do
me
that.
and Dan have to be on Guitar Hero side. Joe and Bobby are on Rock Band side.
We got this.
Okay, so Guitar
That's-
Hero is
And-
the.
And one thing, it's the entire series, so don't just focus on Guitar Hero 3.
Oh, it's the whole series.
Yeah, and I think it'd be interesting to see how much you guys can pull out in 1 minute of an entire series that like stretched out like almost an entire decade.
So
we're
Guitar
talking-
Hero. Let me. I'm
Handhelds,
trying
we're
to.
talking major console
Rhythm.
releases.
Okay. Here's a statement. The Guitar Hero series is the best rhythm-based music franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're arguing for that fact. Joe and Bobby are arguing against that fact.
Yes.
Okay.
We are saying yes, the Guitar Hero series is the best rhythm-based music franchise. And they are saying no, it's not. It's Rock Band.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alberto, you're going to time?
Yeah.
You got something to time us here? So in the tradition of, I guess, no tradition at all whatsoever, but for whatever's sake, 4 usually goes first. Okay. So Christian, do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, you know what? I'll just go first. This
all right.
is going to be fun.
Get it done and over with. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Bobby and Joe, who's going first?
It's up to you, Bobby.
I'll go first. I'm trying. Let's go with the anchor. That's
all righty.
You're the anchor, so you got to pull us in.
I'm getting that.
All right, Alberto, let me know when to start. Or I guess I'll just count it down since he's out there. So 3, 2, 1. All right. So there is a reason when people talk about rhythm games, the first game that comes to your mind is Guitar Hero. I have never once heard somebody say, "Oh, that reminds me of when I played Rock Band." No, or any other. It's always Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero is the founder. It's the standard. It is the game. It's what started it all. It is the end all be all. It's the childhood memories of so many people. I remember staying up till 2, 3 in the morning playing Guitar Hero. Rock Band came along and was like, "Oh, we'll throw in all these other fancy instruments." You didn't need it, and no other instrument has ever stood up to the original classic Guitar Hero feel. Guitar, bass, it didn't matter. Guitar Hero threw in other instruments too, and they did that better than Rock Band. At the end of the day, Guitar Hero is the originator. They're the best. There's nothing more that needs to be said.
All righty. Now we will hear a counter argument from our good friend Bobby.
From 2007 to 2017, Rock Band has let people go, let them play their favorite instruments, hit after hit after hit. Now, does Rock Band have such awesome songs as Enter Sandman or Sweet Home Alabama? Can you play Everlong on drums like Taylor Hawkins or Dave Grohl? or have that feeling when you're like going into the bar in Terminator 2 and listen to bad to the bone, do. Or can't you just get out a little bit more cowbell and play Don't Fear the Reaper? You can't do that on Guitar Hero. You can only do that on Rock Band. And for one of the greatest bands of all time, can Guitar Hero go through the entire history of the Beatles, right from their start in Liverpool, England, to the top of the rooftops, playing Get Back. And whenever you beat a new song, you learn a little bit more about their history. I don't think Guitar Hero could do that. Only Rock Band can't on multiple consoles. Thank you very much, and rock on, my friends.
Rock on, my friends. Okay, so that was interesting.
I don't know.
That was I'm curious. What that was oh man. This is gonna be rough. How many of you guys have actually played Rock Band? I'm curious.
I own the Beatles version.
Okay.
I've played Rock Band a couple times.
How many of you have played Guitar Hero? Okay. More of us have played Guitar Hero than Rock Band. I find that interesting. All right, part 2.
Good luck, Dan.
I'm going next, right?
Dan was using part of his host duduties as part of his
stop
debate.
it.
So
Stop
start the timer.
Stop it.
He's the host. He can do what he wants.
I don't know. Yeah.
He's like, I wasn't
already.
doing that. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. We're going to get Bobby and Christian out of here. All right, Joe.
All right.
Let's do this, sir. Round 2. Guitar Hero. It is the original rhythm rock game. Started the entire craze. And it has seen wide success among a huge variety of different platforms, spanning 3 different console generations and going to portable gaming, all on top of the fact that it ended with a literal streaming, endless supply, streaming, rocking out service that you can get going directly into your home and having a literal crowd respond to you, not computer generated CGI bullcrap, but actual people, actual bandmates that you are on stage with, responding to how well you are and are not actually playing, and having like a kick-ass library of music videos to be able to play along with as well. So all of that to say, as great and wonderful as Rock Band thinks they are, nothing beats the OG, and that is Guitar Hero.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. You ready?
I was born ready, sir.
All right. Yes, Guitar Hero came out and it introduced the genre of rhythm playing. But Rock Band came out afterward. And not only did they introduce rhythm playing with endless streaming as well, they also introduced actual learning to play your guitar. So you can pick up any guitar that you can plug into your console, and you can actually learn how to play the actual chords of the guitar, and then unplug it, go to your friend's house without a console, and actually play the guitar in real life. You can't do that with Guitar Hero. That's not even possible.
All right. Well, okay. Let's bring everybody back. I was I don't know. I have no idea who won that round. Umberto.
Uh-huh.
I was watching you in my little producer side screen here, just like munching away.
Oh yeah.
Eating and enjoying us engage in this most pointless debate. You got a rule, dude. Who won?
While I enjoyed all of the points about talking about how we wouldn't even be having this conversation without Guitar Hero, Joe brought up one point that was very, very important to me in particular because
As a musician, he's playing that card.
As a musician, Rocksmith, I think, is the best music-based instrument because you can learn guitar and bass and actually learn how to play it on guitar.
Isn't Rock Band?
No, I know, but like he was talking about how there is a game where you can learn how to be playing like real
But
instruments.
that's not. But the debate was Rock Band.
Wait, hold on. There was that, but to even just go back into the Rock Band thing, I learned how to play drums from Rock Band. I learned how to actually play real drums, and I started playing drums in college for the ensembles only through Rock Band. And I didn't buy my first kit until I was like 2 years into college. So, with that being said, I say the Rock Band.
Yes, finally!
He's saying that into a Rock Band microphone. I want to recount. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
I'm just gonna say
bias.
I'm just gonna say my wife, who is not even a gamer in the slightest, has no clue what Rock Band is, knows what Guitar Hero is, and has played it.
There you go.
Can she play an actual guitar?
No.
You can after you play Rockman or Rocksmith.
Rocksmith, that's not Rock
you
Band.
can't play an actual guitar after you play Rock Band.
Your entire point is mute because it was a different game.
Rocksmith is its own game, and there is a pro version of Rock Band 3.
I was going to
say you can get a pro guitar that has like a bajillion buttons on it. But at that point, just get yourself a real guitar. Why would you waste money?
But it does help
Rock
you learn.
Band?
It does help you learn.
I was going to bring that up. I remember being
No,
at Dan's house, and he has the keyboard for Rock Band 3, where in pro mode, you have to do actual piano chords.
It's the actual keys of the actual song on the keyboard. It's ridiculous.
Awesome. And then like Guitar Hero is like a really cool thing to play Friday night, and you're just playing like your like Guitar Hero dreams. But like if you want to learn something and live that dream out with your buddies, Rock Band all the way.
You guys ever played the Guitar Hero Live?
No.
Yeah, the newest one, right? The one that came out
once, I think.
They removed the like endless streaming channel service version, but which was cool. But the real reason to play that game is the actual live audience that the whole game is centered around is really cool. Like the band and everything, everybody's actual actors all responding in real time to what you're doing. It's pretty cool. All of that said, I actually prefer Rock Band over Guitar Hero. So I'm totally full of it, is what I'm saying.
I mean, honestly, I think I played Rock Band one time.
Yeah.
I've been a Guitar Hero guy.
Rock Band is
but
fantastic.
I honestly haven't touched either of them in probably close to a decade.
Here's how ridiculously OP Rock Band is. Not only is there a pro controller where you can learn how to play the actual chords for the songs, in addition to that, you have pro levels of every single instrument that's about playing the actual songs. In addition to that, they've got a separate app that was available for you to download a massive collection of songs to all of the games that go well above and beyond the entire library of all of the games that are on all the songs that are on the discs. And you can get, check this out, a fog machine and LED lighting system that is instantly synced up with the songs in the game. Wild. For you to fill up your entire room with all of your friends, all playing different instruments, and literally have your own concert with fog machines and lights and everything.
That's wild.
And have the fire alarm go off.
And then yes, exactly. And then the fire department shows up wondering where the rock show is.
So has everybody picked a topic? Are we circling back around to Dan? I think so, right?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's picked a topic.
Yeah. You missed the Dolph Lundgren one last week.
Oh, okay, what was it? I didn't get it. What was the topic?
It was I picked Dolph Lundgren movies, and you had to support which one was his favorite role.
What was the best Dolph Lundgren role?
So we had He-Man, we had The Punisher, we had Drago, You might have
Ivan
been.
Drago.
Yeah, you would have been the character he played in Aquaman.
That's a pretty good role.
Yeah.
So
Did anybody have his Expendables role?
No,
No,
I brought that up
no.
too. It should have had an Expendables role. I would have picked that one, but
Yeah.
or the Universal Soldier.
that one, I totally forgot about that.
All
one.
right, well, I'm gonna pick a really, really dumb, pointless topic for next week.
So next week you said we're doing our conspiracy
Let's do
theories.
the conspiracy one. I
Yeah.
think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, we should each bring our favorite one, but then we should throw a bunch.
And
into
then
a
we'll
pot
like
and just
break down
debate
a bunch of different crazy
Yeah.
ones, and we'll maybe rate them on a scale of
Yeah, but we
believability and whatever.
should each bring our favorite like
Okay.
movie or video game conspiracy theory.
We will get into the Marvel stuff eventually, but
Yes,
we'll
there's
wait
just not
until
a ton
more
of news about it right now.
It's all connected. Yeah.
Could we have just one tiny little rule though?
Yes.
Yeah.
That not every single conspiracy theory can be the he or she was in a coma the whole time.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
This
There's
whole
one of
movie
that.
was all in their head. Yeah.
There's one for every series.
they're literally it.
So
Yeah, there
I
definitely
can
is.
avoid. I can avoid.
So are we doing
No,
TV and movies and or
TV, movies, and games. I
Yeah.
like. Let's just
Whatever
the
we
whole
want,
gamut. Yeah.
Okay.
For
Cool.
sure.
So examples like Pixar, all the Pixar movies are connected. E.T.'s a
Yeah.
force wielder, and it's a side off from Star Wars.
Yeah, all those.
Doom Guy is actually Link from the Zelda series, Centuries in the Future.
I've
Yeah,
never heard that.
I agree with
and
that.
I'm ready.
That is a real theory. We're going to talk about it. I love
Yes. So
Wow.
anybody watching the video in the comments, throw us your favorite conspiracy
it.
theories.
Yes. Please, if you
Regarding-
stuck with us this entire time,
Media.
thank you.
Yes, media
Subscribe,
conspiracy
like,
theories.
all that fun
We don't want to hear
stuff.
about the lizard people in the White House. or
Drop
anything
your
like that.
conspiracy theories regarding movies, television, and video games.
President
We're not
Trump is a Krogan.
Is a Krogan. Oh gosh. And on that note, we're going to call it a night. Thank you, gentlemen, once again for a wonderful, lively discussion. And we will catch all of you guys later this next week.
Good night, guys.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Great job, everyone.